So for the website, we have two main fonts that we use, two primary fonts. The first is Lato. This is Lato. This is Lato. Pretty much all of the text on our websites it's typically Lato. The other primary font that we use is Oswald. Oswald is a little bigger, thicker, bolder. One thing you have to remember when you use Oswald, and I'll show you some uses of it in just a second, but anytime that you use it, it has to be capitalized. Everything has to be capitalized in it. So this is the correct use of Oswald. This is the incorrect use of Oswald. We go back to the main communications toolkit homepage. You can see this is our marquee at the top. That's what we refer to when we have like a big, bold, heading at the top with a big, huge image in the background. This is Oswald. The heading at the top of this page is set up in Oswald. As you can see, it's all capitalized. This is Oswald. It's all capitalized. Is how to change the heading. So as you can see here, it's Oswald font. And then we have a subheading over here. The way you change that is you look for the row that's called outer floating, and you put your mouse over the heading here. It says training WordPress page. That's a good indication that you're at the right location. And click on this to edit it. And you'll have to scroll up a little bit. So here we go. Here's the title of the page. It's going to be an Oswald font because all the marquees have Oswald font in them. So it's all capitalized. The tag, this is one thing that you're going to want to pay attention for when not just in the marquee, but whenever you add any heading to the page, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. What tag number you're using. Default is H2, as you can see here. Otherwise, you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, 4, 5. Whenever you're selecting these, you have to know that there can only ever be one H1 on your page, and that should always be the heading at the very top of your page, which should let the users know what that page name is. You can have other headings on your page, that describe what those subsections on the page are. Here's another heading. This is an H2. H1s are the biggest headings in font size. H2s are smaller. And then under H2s, you can have H3s. If there are subsections to this subsection. The one thing to be aware of with headings in general is that they should never skip their natural order. For example, you should go from like an H1 to an H2, but you can never jump from an H1 to an H3. There always has to be that H2 in between it. That's for search engine optimization, but most importantly, 508 compliance. When users with disabilities, visual disabilities, are having their e-reader read the page for them, they have the option to skip, and jump between headings. And if your headings are out of alignment and you have like an H3 under an H1 without an H2 in between it, that could screw up the reading for them and make for a very bad experience on our website. So please make sure that you follow their natural order. If you need to have, for example, here is an H2. It's directly under the H1. But so you need to have an H2 in this location, but you want the font to be smaller. Easily done. Feel free to change the font size. You just got to make sure it's an H2. So let me show you how to do that. So I'll show you by going to the heading here at the top of the marquee, killing two birds with one stone. So I'm going to edit this heading. Make sure that it's, top of the page has the single H1 on the page. That's great. I'm going to go to typography. And because this is set up as Oswald, we absolutely have to have these font sizes set up properly. Our style guides, our style sheets for our site, all of our GSU sites are set up so that they properly, headings will shrink in size depending on the screen size. So if somebody's viewing it on a desktop, look how large this heading is right now, explore our programs. It's very large. But if I'm going to shrink this down to a mobile version, so let's go to browser tools and responsive design mode. This will show you what it looks like on a mobile device. Look how this has shrunk. So this has shrunk down so that it doesn't like take up this whole row and wrap around. We automatically have that done for Lato headings on our page. So whenever you have, whenever you want to change a Lato sized heading, so if this H2 is still too big for where you want it to be, you have to shrink it down in this location by going to typography and adding in different font sizes for every window screen. So this is what it would be for a desktop, 62 pixels, tablet, 62, tablet portrait, 52. We take it down 10 pixels. Mobile landscape. So if you have a mobile device, a phone, and you're looking at it in landscape mode, it's 42 pixels. And then if we have a mobile device, people are holding it like they normally do, the font size is 32 pixels. Now you have to add these font sizes and line heights whenever you use Oswald for a heading, though. So be aware of that. If we didn't do this, Oswald would be ginormous. Training would take up, the entire row. WordPress would take up the next row, and page would take up the row underneath that. It would be huge. It would push everything else down. But because we changed it so that the Oswald font size on desktop is 62, and this is, let's kill this and bring it back up here. You can see, it's 62 pixels in size here.